Sunster just sent us their brand new toolbox style diesel heater. It's one of the easier designs you can use for a couple reasons. To start off, you have a 110 adapter. In this garage, I got two other diesel heaters. We run outside. We got poles in the garage. We got one hole behind here and one hole behind there to kind of keep the air going in this area when it gets to like minus 30. So you have an option of doing 110 for that reason, and that's really nice. If not, you guys, lots of people use these for ice camping, including us. What we do is we have the other adapter. It plugs right into the side, and you can hook this up to your battery when you take it. If you look right underneath it here, kind of hard to see right here, this is the actual air filter, so it's really easy to get to. It's nice, it's out of the way, it's low, so it's going to keep it clean for a while. And one thing that's fantastic, if you look at this, the exhaust is actually level with the bottom, and that's massive because when you set it down anywhere, it's going to be level. Lots of the other ones, like the Beaver styles, the tall, skinny ones, you have to block it up like that to run the exhaust out on the 90, and it's such a pain. So for the reason you can use it for 110 and the 90, it makes it so much easier. That's why I like this style, and it won't fall over in the back of the truck. It's more stable. It's not that these diesel heaters are that bad, they're just more inconvenient with the design. So this is tall and skinny. I mean, you gotta be more careful you transport it before it doesn't fall over. And here is the reason what I'm talking about. There is the 90 right here. There's the exhaust. So in order to get it in there, which end do I use? This end. So you got to get it, like this is how much room you have. You can't bend that. There's no way you're going to get a 90. So you have to have like this much extra room to get it out. So you got to block them up like a couple more feet, or a couple inches like that. And that's the only way, unless you have a stand for it and you run it straight out like I do with this one actually. You can run this now inside the tent or outside the tent. If you run it inside the tent, give you a nice guard. So even with it gets pretty hot, so make sure you use this. I did actually burn the tent a little bit, so I'd maybe put 2 sleeves on this, I think. But you run this outside the tent, and if you want to keep it the opposite way, run the diesel heater outside the tent and bring your heat in to give you, I believe it's about an 8-foot length. I believe it's insulated too, so you can run this on the side right here and stretch it out and put it in depending on the temperature of the day. I like to run these on the outside of the tent because when we're filming it keeps the noise down a little bit, but with Sunster's new pump system, I guess they run it a little bit quieter. Once it starts ticking, you'll hear it a little bit, but when it's running full steam, it's not quite as loud as like the Beaver style heaters. And there's 3 ways you can control this. You can use the wireless remote, the range on that, you can turn it on and off with this, and then the heat up and down. It has 260 feet range with this, so if you got a garage and you can point outside the window and turn your heater on before you even come in, which is pretty cool. The other way is this, the onboard. I'll show you, I'll green the camera up, but this is the onboard control. It's got a lot more features with Bluetooth as well. You have a Bluetooth app, which I'm recording with my phone, so I cannot show you guys, but the Bluetooth app controls the temperature. You can put a timer on it. It has every single option you need. Now, everybody loves to do ice tenting. I'll just turn this baby on. I think I changed the batteries in it. It'll say the temperature. You can turn the temperature up and down with this as well. And it is a carbon monoxide detector, so I don't know how well it works, but you can check out the parts per million. In this, I forget the settings. I was messing around with it earlier, but it's carbon monoxide detector. It tells you the parts per million and this temperature control up and down. So it's handy to have if you're going to be ice camping. You definitely gotta have it in-house. Also have it lower. Lots of people mistake that. Carbon monoxide is heavier than air, so keep this low. Do not set this at the top of your tent in that screen. Here's the onboard. We'll turn on in a second here. We just gotta put the exhaust out first before we do all that. And this is where you keep your wireless one. Pop it open. It seems like a pretty solid case. I mean, it should take a little bit of abuse. Now, this is a 6-liter tank. It also has the gauge on the side, fluid level, just like that. And one thing you need to note is that if you look down here, they have a fuel filter. Most of these do not come with fuel filters, all the other styles. Some do, some don't, but you definitely want one just to keep the particles, because sometimes diesel gets contaminated and you don't want it to stop working when you're out camping or when you are on the ice. We are going to fire it up now, and this will be the temperature controls on the side. You can also put this in fan mode as well. And I do not remember if I said this is an 8 kilowatt, so it is the bigger one. So you have heat, fan mode, all these other fancy options. So we're gonna hit heat to start with. It definitely helps if you plug it in first.
Start heating.
So that's kind of cool. It says start heating, kind of talks to you a little bit too. So there's your wireless right there, your Bluetooth. It's a sound, I believe, for the control with your speaking. There's your time, and you can set the timer, like I said, which is kind of cool. It has a temperature. Oh, this is your temperature control. Oh, it's up. All it fires. Oops. Oh my God.
Stop heating.
No, don't stop heating. I fat fingered it. Turned it back on. So this is your temperature. Turn it up right to the max. As you can get pretty hot. So 97. This is the, I believe that's flashing. I don't know everything quite well. I've used it a few times, but flashing means it's getting going. And setting a timer is pretty cool as well. Just even if you have an ice shack or anything like that, you can have it warm when you arrive. So you can hear it starting to fire. And you can always hear a little ticking. It does slow down once it gets going. It's just priming itself. And they smoke, and they love it. Every single diesel heater will smoke a little bit. So do not worry about that. So it is humming really good. And if you listen, you cannot hear the diesel pump. Like very vaguely. All you're doing, what you're hearing is just the blower. And you could probably hold your hand here for a little bit, but not very long. It blows very nice and hot. But we are not up to optimal temperature yet. One thing you never want to do is shut these off when they're cycling down and doing their burnout clean out at the end. If you keep doing that over time, it's going to have issues running. So make sure you never do that. But all in all, out of the 4 diesel heaters I have had, this one's my favorite because you can use 110. It's more stable. You don't got to mess around with lifting it up higher to get the exhaust out. So probably my favorite one so far.